Hello, and welcome to another Sunday Chat with me, Richard Vobes. It's very nice to be here. 1st of August 2021. We've got into the school summer holidays now. This is my chance, of course, to have a chinwag with you, a relaxing chinwag, as we have a bit of sunshine and summer and all those sort of things, and catch up with what's been going on in the world of the Bald Explorer and what's coming up. Well, as you know, of course, there's been a lot of van stuff recently, and I know it's upset some people. I'm sorry about that. A few people have withdrawn their patronage of the show, I think because they feel that I've been dragged into a different sphere rather than the heritage, landscape and nature. I hope that they're not being too short-sighted about that, because obviously the whole point of the van conversion is so that I can go further afield, stay overnight, make the longer format shows and bring you more content. But, you know, people do come and people do go. The van videos, by the way, have actually increased my following. The subscribers have gone up and the views have gone up. One of my videos, which was called Vantastic, has actually reached over 9,000 views, which was brilliant. The lovely Julia was in it, so I'm sure that was why that was the case. Anyway, welcome along to a relaxing, hopefully, Sunday chinwag with just you and me on the beginning of August. And so what is coming up? All sorts of bits and bobs are coming up. I'll get to, as ever, I've got a little list of bits and pieces, which is good. We had a successful farm walk, you may remember, the Bald Explorer group in July. We're only just out of it. That was lovely. We had some dog walkers. There were a few people who were slightly concerned, or some of them were very concerned. Some were quite rude in the comments about the people who came with the dog walkers. And as I had mentioned, just to put the full stop really to this, there was plenty of shade, there were streams, and the dog owners knew what the capabilities of their animals were. No animal suffered. Everybody seemed okay. So I didn't film every last second of it, and I didn't film where the dogs were running around in the stream. So that was good. Or, you know, that was the way it was. So it looked hotter than it probably actually, in fact, was. And the reason I say that is I don't want other dog users or people who, well, what other animal would you bring? Nobody's going to bring their cats, are they? I don't want any other dog walkers to feel that that their animals are not going to be looked after on the walks. We can never quite tell what the weather is going to be and how hot or lack of water there is when we plan these, but we do our best to accommodate everybody. So coming up, the walks generally happen at the end of the month. Now, I'm aware that August has a bank holiday at the end of the month, so we'll probably be, and we will announce all of this officially in about a week's time, so we'll probably be the weekend before the last weekend of the month. Usually it's either a Saturday or a Sunday that we do the walks, and we alternate. So if it was Sunday last time, it'll be Saturday the next time, and then Sunday again and Saturday, if you see what I mean. But usually the end of the week and at the end of the month, unless it's a bank holiday, because I know that people have bank holiday plans and they go and do other things. So we will make an official walk. Now, I've been chatting to Mr. Suggett from the Veg Grower podcast, and he has an idea for a walk that will take us from Pulborough down to the RSPB, along a very lovely walk close to the river and taking in some art. I think bird art, if I've got that right, along the way. But we will advertise the route. It's about a mile and a half there. Then we'll stop, have lunch and some sandwiches, and then walk a mile and a half back. So it's not a circular route, but it will be, you know, there, have a break, and then come back. But we'll make the announcement on that. I think Richard and I will firstly go and just check the route out, make sure the terrain is all right, because we don't aim to have our walks for just hikers who want to get going. It's much more of a social, and it's a relaxed pace. So 3 miles is usually our tops. We try to keep the terrain fairly even so that we can have people of all abilities, unless, of course, they're in a wheelchair, which isn't always possible. But we do try to make the walks pretty, basic, really. We're not into massive walking because we just want to get as many people out and about as we can. So watch out in the Bald Explorer group and the Bald Explorer walking group on Facebook for information about that coming up. So we've been having a lot of van building, yes, I know. And as I said before, the van videos have actually generated a lot of views and a lot of interest. And of course, everybody's an expert and everybody's been suggesting things, which actually has been quite helpful. Some of them have been beyond my capabilities or not what I wanted to do. So somebody suggested, why don't you just go and take the van build to a carpenter or to a professional company and have it done? And that's not really what the Bald Explorer is about. I wanted to do it myself. Now, it may be down the line that would be the best thing to do. But for the moment, I want to understand and appreciate how difficult it is. And of course, it's given me a whole load of videos, which has helped not only the channel, but helped me to continue what I do. So, some of the comments are a bit outlandish, but on the whole, it's been really good and I'm very pleased. And of course, I've had a lot of help, and I think we're pretty much now at the point where the van build is not quite done, but I can finesse it as I go. It's now ready for me to get out and about and spend the night and go places and use the van in the way that I've always intended. So that will be coming up. Now, I'm aware that, of course, I'm saying this, and very often I make these plans and I want to do things, and then certain things come along and curtail me, and then I feel very guilty that I haven't done what I've said I've done. And I do try as far as possible to carry out the things that I promise on the channel. So sometimes there are setbacks and people get a bit impatient. I have a 5-year plan for this channel, and I've just come into the 5th year now of making a video every day, and I still want to carry on with that, but sometimes some of these things that I pitch take much longer. So please bear with me. I do try to get everything done, but sometimes it takes a bit longer. And to those of you who have perhaps got a bit tired of the van, don't worry, landscape, heritage and nature is coming back. So we will get back on the theme, on the niche, as it were. So thank you very much for all of that. I had a birthday recently, you may recall, and thank you again to everybody who's been very kind and sent me well wishes and emails and e-cards, and those of you who actually sent me presents. I very much appreciate that. I don't ask for any of this, and sometimes I get accused of fleecing the viewers and taking advantage of people. The only thing I ever ask in my videos is if people would like to, and it's not mandatory, I'm not like the government, I don't mandate things, if people would like to get behind me and support what I do, and many people do, and I'm very thankful for that, but I don't force or twist anybody's arms. And although I do get occasionally accused of fleecing the audience and what have you, people give, and people are generous and they appreciate what I do, and I appreciate them, because without the support, I can't carry on to make the videos, because this is the only way I make a living. So I do appreciate it. So thank you very much for supporting me on my birthday. Here we are now, hopefully in full freedom, as our freedom is given back to us by the government, and let's hope that we're not going to end up going into any more lockdowns or things that will prevent us from going forward. And I want to get out in my van, so that will happen. You will know that the last couple of years, the lovely Julia and I have gone out and spent a week in a canal boat. We're not doing it this year because of a lot of people have had staycations in this country this year, and in many ways we missed the boat in trying to book something, but we just felt we'll have a year off whilst a lot of other people go on the canals, and then once people are able to fly to other countries, we'll probably book another week, possibly 2 for next year. Also, I haven't fully given up the idea in my head of potentially buying a canal boat, because it struck me, actually, I was talking to somebody, they said, well, there's nothing to stop you buying a canal boat, having it for say 5 years. If it doesn't work out, you could sell it, and they are pretty much, as long as you don't do too much damage to it and wear and tear to it, they're holding their own. So as a temporary investment, you could do that, get your videos made, go and explore stuff, and then sell it on. There's always going to be somebody who wants to run away to the canals. So that is on the back of my mind, but again, it's a long-term project, something that I'm thinking about. I don't rush into these things. As well as the land project, depends which one comes up first. I'm still thinking about purchasing a piece of land. It would be great if there was some sort of planning permission on it, if I could get somewhere to live on the land rather than just have land. People have offered or sent me spec sheets of land that's for sale, but they're sort of like 30, 40, 60 miles away, and that's really no good. I don't want to spend an hour travelling to the land. If it was only around the corner, that would be great, but I know that the southeast where I live is extremely expensive for a plot of land, and of course there are a lot of limitations on what you can do. So it may be a bit pie in the sky at the moment, but it is something I'm thinking about, and I haven't given that up. But as I say, everything's a bit long-term in my world. So there we go. Now, August, we are going away. The lovely Julia needs a break. She's got Geronimo Joe under her feet. She's had both kids to look after. As we know, schools have been shut for a lot of the first part of the year. So she's had both kids under her feet. Then there's the summer holidays. It's not been easy, as you can imagine, and I appreciate many young families with kids will understand exactly what this is like, and you've had to shuffle around work and things that go on. And very kindly, David Chamberlain has offered his lovely house in Wiltshire to us and said, Julia desperately needs a break and I can go there as well. And we'll go and make some videos. We've got the van, so we can go out for longish days. We can make cups of tea. We can have lunch. We can camp out in the van or even in a tent if we want to, or return, of course, back to the house of an evening. So that's coming up in August. So very excited about that. And thank you very much, David, for making that possible. And of course, the videos will come out and hopefully everybody will, it's a win-win. Hopefully everybody gets something out of it, which will be absolutely superb. I am still planning, and I know with the van conversion everything has gone a bit topsy-turvy, but these long format videos that I was talking about before, we did one with Ernie, I'm still planning that. Of course, everything got a bit put back. We are running out of time because we're in August now, and then we've got August, September, and then as things start to get a bit cooler and the nights get a bit longer, it's not so easy. But I do want to stay in the van on my own somewhere and tour around a little bit and bring you the longer format videos at the end of the week, so giving you a report of where I am and a little bit of what I'm doing, and then you get a longer format, better put together and what have you. That's still on the cards. I haven't forgot about it. I haven't abandoned it, but as I say, everything takes much longer. I always feel that people are chomping at the bit going, well, you said this last week, why haven't we got 3 or 4 of these videos on these long formats? Like, well, golly, everything takes a bit of time. I'm sure you appreciate it, and I'm sure it's just me worrying about it, completely unnecessary. But I do desperately want to do these things. So they will be coming fairly soon. So, fingers crossed we get a few of them. I think most of all of this year is a bit of a tester year. Next year, if we don't get lockdowns, if the government don't panic and put us behind bars, if we don't get all these silly variants and all of this nonsense, then as we come out of the winter and we get into spring, we'll have all of the sunny periods in this country to go off. So I think next year we'll see a hell of a lot more. I'm planning much more for next year, and then this year will be a lot of, well, look, it looks like we've got 3 or 4 good days, boom, away we go and do something. We've had a lot of wind down here in the southeast. I don't know where you are, if you've suffered from a lot of wind, and I'm not talking about wind from the internal organs. Wind and bits of rain. while the conversion was going on, there was beautiful sunshine. I was sweltering as I was chopping up my plywood and building all the interior. And now that we've got that done, there's a lot of wind and indeterminate weather, rain. And wind is horrible for filming, and because it's very difficult on the audio. But I can do it a different way, and I'm determined to bring the videos to you, and I don't want to make excuses. So that's one thing I don't want to do. Had a lovely outing with Windmill Bob. Everybody seemed to enjoy that. It was great. Thank you to Bob Patterson, Windmill Bob, who was on holiday down in Sussex and said to me, hey, why don't we meet up and go and do a bit of windmill chasing, which we did. And that was fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Now, he now lives in Suffolk. He used to live in Surrey, but he now lives in Suffolk. And somebody suggested, why don't you go and visit Windmill Bob in his part of the world and do a bit of windmill chasing? And I thought that is a great idea, so I will put that to him. Even if he can't put me up or anything, I can stay in the van, even if it's just for one day and I do a bit of my own touring around. That could be good. So Windmill Bob, if you're watching, what do you think? Sounds like a great suggestion. And I also do want to get further afield. I know that Robert Hughes came down here. He was in the studio. We did a bit on the Vobes show. He lives in Chester. I do want to get up to see him. My old friend Harriet, who used to be in the videos years ago, said, come and visit Lola and me. So I want to kind of do a bit of a round trip in Shropshire and into Chester and have a look at that area. So hopefully to get that in as well this year, before we get into the autumn and the shorter days. Because the trouble with the short days is it gets dark. And what are you going to do, when it's dark at 5 o'clock and you're sitting in the van until, I don't know, something like 8 o'clock the next morning? There's not a lot of filming to be done inside a van. There's only so much. So lots happening. It just seems like it's not happening. I promise you I will be back on it. Anyway, thank you for watching the Sunday chat. I hope it hasn't sounded like a load of apologies for things not going on. Still producing daily videos. Thank you for endorsing the van stuff. I really appreciate that. Some of the numbers have been fantastic on that. So there will be more of those. Don't get upset if you don't get Heritage Landscape all the time. I'm still doing my Living Alone strand, my story, which is nearly up to date now. That's amazing. And so on and so forth. So there you go. Anyway, look after yourselves. Have a great Sunday if you're watching this on the Sunday. And don't forget to support the old Bald Explorer. You can go to baldexplorer.com. And if you would like to be a patron and make a donation, this is not me fleecing you in any shape or form. It's only if you want to support me and help me put diesel in the van, etc., etc., then you can find all the information on the website, baldexplorer.com. In the meantime, that's it from me. Have a good week, and I will see you in the week with the videos. Take care, and bye-bye.